Films, especially fiction, are essentially illusions. What we see on screen are images that have been specifically created for our consumption. We are taken from our own reality and put for a limited time into a reality that originally existed in someone else's headspace. But illusions are not confined to the walls of the theatre. The omnipotence of media, and especially social media, ensures that we are constantly fed with illusions about the lives of others. Fan directly deals with the role that illusions created and reinforced by the media and cinema play in our society, and uses the world's most popular face as two separate characters to do it. Gaurav and Aryan are characters who are happy in their own illusions. And as the film progresses, we see these illusions peel away. The first half follows Gaurav, a young, feisty Delhi guy who also happens to bear a passing resemblance to his idol, superstar Aryan Khanna. Gaurav refers to him as his god and decides to meet him on his birthday and offer him sweets, undertaking a journey that tests him both physically and mentally. This parallels a common practice called darshan in India, where people decide to go on religious pilgrimages, some of which are physically testing, just to get a glimpse of their god and offer sweets or food. Darshan, a Sanskrit word originally used for a distinctly Hindu way of seeing deities, has often been used by film scholars to explain India's visual culture. As Dennis Vidal writes, a significant feature of darshan is its conception of vision that intimately connects seeing and being seen with the senses of sight and touch. Gaurav doesn't see himself as merely a fan. No, he believes he is special because he looks like Aryan, comes from a similar background as Aryan, lives by Aryan's principles, follows what Aryan did when he came to Mumbai, and even fights for Aryan. In his mind, he is a devotee, a true fan, as he says several times in the movie. He therefore feels entitled to a reward, which is a meeting with him. In his headspace, he is a hero, right till he actually meets Aryan, which leads to this scene. As Aryan enters the room, we see Gaurav lying curled up in yellow light. When called, he rises and touches his star, trying to show him how he's special since he resembles the star. As he tries to impress him, notice how both Aryan and Gaurav are lit by the same yellow light, signifying the warmth and compassion of Gaurav's illusion. Here we see that they move from the yellow light to an area lit by blue light, signifying cold, hard reality.
हमने गलती की है, तुम्हें सजा मिलनी चाहिए ताकि तुम फिर से ऐसे उल्टा सीधा स्टंट ना कर सको.
Gaurav begins to realize that Aryan, his god, is merely human, who scoffs at the idea of a special relationship between them.
तुम होते कौन हो मेरे लिए कुछ भी करने वाले?
आपका फैन. आपकी लाइफ के 5 मिनट भी नहीं मिल सकते मुझे क्या?
मेरी लाइफ है, मेरा टाइम है. तुम्हें 5 सेकंड भी क्यों दूं?
As we see from Gaurav's perspective, the light that he had associated with warmth and reverence a few moments ago is separated from Aryan, whose face is lit by blue light. With this separation clear, Gaurav steps into the spotlight, towering over Aryan. He essentially threatens that a god is only a god as long as his devotees continue to worship him.
गौरव है तो आर्यन, गौरव नहीं, आर्यन कुछ भी नहीं.
This shows us the breakdown of Gaurav's illusion, just as we are introduced to Aryan's illusion. Gaurav's illusion was that Aryan was an all-forgiving, all-loving God who would acknowledge a true devotee. When he realizes that this is not the case, he sees everything he'd held value to as images, as illusions meant to deceive. On the other side, Aryan's illusion is that of security. Security of his money, his power, and the support of his fans. Gaurav becomes aware of this and realizes that he would have to show Aryan that this relationship was codependent. To accomplish this, he begins to chip away at Aryan's public image. Aryan thus goes to jail, is humiliated by a businessman, is accused of molestation, and is not even able to keep his own house secure. His fans too abandon him, breaking this illusion that he could take their support for granted. As the final nail in the coffin, Gaurav destroys his study, which is Aryan's old illusion of his star image, in the form of awards and costume he has accumulated over the years. This leads to Aryan confronting him alone, stripped of any pretense of the star image. During the climactic fight, we see one last attempt by Aryan to re-establish his own illusion of security, wherein motivating Gaurav to have his own identity, he essentially tries to sell his own life as someone to take inspiration from. But all Gaurav wants is an apology, an acknowledgement of a special relationship which would make the illusion he'd had for the past 25 years real.
कभी नहीं मिल पाता टाइम हर एक फैन से मिलने।
Aryan's attempt at motivating him makes Gaurav realize that there was only one way his illusion of having a special relationship could become real. He jumps to his death in a glorious exit lit up by fireworks while his own light extinguishes. This shows us Gaurav's final illusion, his misunderstood idea of himself as a fan who's representing a larger community, when in reality he's just an entitled lover who wants special attention. But his actions do have a consequence. In the final scene of the film, we see Aryan stepping out of his house on his birthday in a scene mirroring an earlier one. In the earlier scene, wide shots were used to film the crowd from the star's perspective, signifying a disconnect of real emotions between the star and his fans. In the later scene, however, he appears without his glasses, and medium shots are used to film the crowd, capturing their emotions. We see Aryan's uncomfortable acceptance of the codependent relationship with his fans. In this, we see is Gaurav's real victory, beyond the mere attachment of his name. This shows us the birth of a new star who is more cautious of what he is selling to the people to whom he means different things. Through the characters of Aryan and Gaurav, the film holds a mirror to us, the audience. The film uses real footage from Shah Rukh's interviews and speeches to indicate that the image of Aryan Khanna created by the media in the film's world is not too different from our world. We know that in the film's world, rather like the real world, the star still sells his life as the ultimate dream of the urban middle class. But the film presents us Aryan's life stripped of all the halos the media has created around it. It shows us darker, brutally honest truths of a star's life, some of which have been linked to SRK in the past, like him dancing at weddings or being arrogant and entitled. He comes across as an insecure man who practices his smile and must swallow his pride for money.
पुरानी wedding जिंदगी भर याद रखेंगे, all right?
Well, they better do. After all, I'm spending a bomb on you.
Only you can.
As the audience, this is not what we expect to associate with Shah Rukh's life. We learn that film stars live a life of many characters and that the public image is one character too.
With fame, you become a star. With stardom, a lot of self-centeredness comes. We are two people in one, or actually three sometimes. There's a personal me, there's an actor me, and then there's a star me. What I do, try to keep as much in touch with reality as I can, is try to remember what the star did, what the actor did, and what I did. I mean, I think most of the people even become so schizophrenic, they forget.
Even in the age of social media, where stars share snippets of their private life, it's still an illusion of intimacy. It's their job to present the best version of themselves to us, the audience.
Also, I would imagine the expectation that someone has from you if you're a role model, an expectation that's kind of thrust on you, that's put upon you without necessarily being of your choice. Are you comfortable with that?
No, you have to behave a little better than you are, yeah. You have to, yeah. I mean, that's a bit of a, yeah, you can't just let your hair down. And not just at a party, but just be yourself, yeah, sometimes.
The film tells us that there is no real meaning to these relationships. These relationships are designed to make us feel as if we are singularly important to our stars. But this is just an illusion, but one they must maintain since we, as an audience, want to believe that we are special. So they'll tell us that each one of us is special to them, when in reality, it's just an uncomfortable acceptance of codependence.
Please take this all in fun. I just want to tell you, I'm very touched by this.
That fan chooses to expose and disillusion us instead of being a mere nostalgia trip makes it an extremely brave film. Especially when you consider that it was made by the studio which orchestrated the creation of SRK's legend. And it's extremely brave of Shah Rukh Khan, who exposes the illusion he's created all his life for us to consume, knowing that we want to stay in it.
असली ड्रामा तो अब शुरू हो